August 23rd, 1939. 78 years ago, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, also known as the German-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact, was signed. No one would have believed that this pact would be the cause of World War II.
With the signing of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which was a pact signed by Germany and the Soviet Union, where they agreed to not be involved in a military conflict for the next 10 years. This encouraged Germany to invade Poland and ignite World War II. Germany would invade Poland without any concerns of the Soviet Union intervening the invasion. Germany would have nothing to fear and would take advantage of this opportunity to take control of Poland and gain territory.
Before the invasion of Poland or the signing of the pact, Europe knew another major war was going to break loose. Germany had been weakened by the effects of the First World War. They were blamed for causing the conflict and were demanded to pay the world reparations. When the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, after the First World War, it destroyed Germany's economy and constantly depleted it. The US tried to help out Germany with this falling economy by giving Germany loans. When the stock market crashed in 1929, the US couldn't assist Germany anymore. This sets up everything for Adolf Hitler, whose view of the world was that the people at the top were more advanced than the ones at the bottom. He believed the Aryan race was the most advanced race and was superior to all other races. To rise to power, Hitler promised he would make the economy and military of Germany much stronger. Hitler promised to make Germany great again and increase its economy, size, and military. He quickly rose to power and was elected as President of Germany on January 30th, 1933. He soon began to increase the size of the German military and looked to expand Germany's borders. Germany first showed off its new military power by invading Czechoslovakia, who surrendered trying to avoid a war. Nazi Germany later invaded Austria and then had its eyes on Poland. Since Germany was not yet militarily prepared to face a potential two-front war with both France and the Soviet Union, Germany looked to ally themselves with the Soviet Union. On the other side of the coin, the Soviet Union could not come to an agreement with Britain or France against Germany, so they had no other choice but to sign the pact because of a fear of German military expansion to the east. Although the Soviet Union didn't give up on trying to get an agreement between Britain and France, Stalin decided to choose Germany either way. On May 3, 1939, Joseph Stalin fired Maxim Litvinov, who was his Jewish foreign minister, and replaced him with Vyacheslav Mikhailovich Molotov, who began to work with the Nazi foreign minister Joachim von Ribbentrop. On August 22, 1939, Ribbentrop flew from Berlin to Moscow to meet with Molotov and Stalin. Originally, the Non-Aggression Pact stated that there would be no military conflict between the two countries for 100 years, but Stalin replied that 10 years would be enough. The pact also stated that neither country would support any third party that attacked the other country that signed the pact. So, for example, if Britain attacked Germany, the Soviet Union could not aid Britain in any way or the pact would be broken. It also stated that the two countries would consult each other about common interests, and they would solve any differences with negotiation or arbitration. The pact contained a secret agreement which stated that after Germany invaded Poland, the Soviet Union would receive the eastern half of Poland along with Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. During the negotiation process, Ribbentrop kept calling and anxiously awaiting Hitler to notify him and keep him updated on what was going on. On the morning of August 23, Ribbentrop called Hitler to notify him that the Non-Aggression Pact had been agreed to. Hitler was overjoyed to hear the news and congratulated his foreign minister on completing the deal.
This pact had many significant short and long-term effects. A short-term impact was that the tensions between the Soviet Union and Germany had been lowered due to them coming with an agreement and deciding to help each other out. The long-term effect was the start of World War II because of the invasion of Poland. Hitler had originally planned to attack Poland on August 25, 1939, with his blitzkrieg warfare tactic, which was to overrun the enemy's line of defense with a short, rapid, and surprise attacks. Since Britain and France learned about the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, they both signed a treaty that stated they would fight in Poland's defense if somebody attacked them. He cancelled the attack but later decided to risk it because he thought Britain and France would not live up to their promises and because he had nothing to fear from the Soviet Union. On September 1st, 1939, just a little over a week after the signing of the pact, Hitler sent his troops to invade Poland. 2 days later, on September 3rd, Britain and France declared war on Germany, marking the official beginning of World War II. The Soviet Union invaded Poland from the east on September 17th, and the partition of Poland was effected on September 29th, but in Germany's favor because they got more territory than what they originally agreed to. The effects from World War II were devastating to all of Europe. There was fear within all residents of Europe. Battles were being fought constantly, and there was destruction throughout all of Europe. One of the most notable things that came from World War II was the Holocaust. Since most of the Jews resided in Eastern Europe countries like Poland, Hitler was able to gather them easily because he had control of those countries. The Germans made life impossible for the Jews and dehumanized them. The Germans dehumanized Jews in concentration camps. Germans killed up to 6 million Jews either in crematories, gassing them, or just killing them at sight. Another effect of the pact was that it was eventually destroyed nearly 2 years after it was signed because Germany decided to invade eastern Poland, which was territory of the Soviet Union, on June 22, 1941. This caused an all-out war between Germany and the Soviet Union. This was the biggest and most disastrous conflict that happened between two countries in World War II. During this conflict, an estimated 10 million people died, which is the most of any conflict between two countries throughout history. Most of the deaths were Soviet soldiers and civilians, but they still managed to win the war. The offensive attacks from Germany and the Soviet Union were devastating. The largest and costliest battles were the Battle of Berlin and the Battle of Stalingrad. The Battle of Stalingrad was the bloodiest battle fought in World War II. Nearly 2 million people died in the battle alone. Although the Soviet Union defended successfully, the cost was extreme. The Battle of Berlin was also one of the major battles fought in World War II, and it was the last major battle on the European side of World War II. Over 1 million people died in this battle, and Germany surrendered. The Battle of Berlin marked the surrender of Germany. Hitler, seeing no hope in Germany's victory, decided to kill himself. World War II officially ended in Europe on May 8, 1945.
So because of this pact, World War II ignited in Europe. If the Soviet Union had not had agreed to this pact, Germany would be afraid to attack Poland because of the threat from both France and the Soviet Union. This pact was the cause of millions of deaths and great destruction throughout the world. There was no place on earth that wasn't affected by World War II. The compromise of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact prompted Germany to start the conflict, which was the invasion of Poland, which also created the conflict, which was the World War II.